What is up, boys? It's your boy Hammer Baby, back at it again, another video, and today we are playing some Sea of Thieves. Yes, it's been a while since I uploaded, and I've been streaming Sea of Thieves. That's why I've been enjoying this game a lot. You know, I've recently come back to playing this game, and I've decided, why don't make a video on it? I know you guys like my tutorial type videos, so I'm gonna be making a tutorial on combat for basically for any beginner to intermediate player. I'm pretty sure the advanced players would know this, or like Pirate Legend Path would know these like combat techniques that I'm gonna teach. But yeah, it's literally just gonna be as simple as me teaching you guys some stuff. It would be helpful if I had another person, but sadly I don't, so you're gonna have to imagine some of the stuff that I'm gonna be talking about. But without further ado, let's get on into the video. Now, as someone who's played this game since basically almost day one of the game, I got it a couple months after it came out. I know that the optimal weapon combos have changed so much in this game, right? And so I'm going to talk about this really quickly, maybe for like a minute or two. But basically, when I say what is the most optimal weapon combo for PvE, for PvP, and for all of the above, you want to do everything all together, it will always be, my always go-to is just the flintlock, the cutlass flintlock. Now the reason why is because the flintlock is an amazing weapon. It one-shots skeletons, it does 55 damage to players, so that means it puts them below half HP, and it also is probably the easiest and most forgiving weapon to learn from the beginning of the game, as it's got this skin specifically. If you get it, it has a reticle, like literally it just has an iron sight, as you can see right there. So you can use this to aim with a pistol, right? And so whenever there's a noob in the game, or you know, one of my friends starts playing, I always tell them, grab this pistol and use it, because it literally is hacks, comes with a reticle, and this game has no reticles for anything. And on top of that, it has the fastest reload time out of any weapon in the game. As you can see, I'm spamming the shoot button. You can shoot like in like basically 2 seconds, right? So it is the most forgiving weapon when it comes to missing your shots, because you can reload very quickly. And the damage is amazing because it puts them within range to, if you hit them with one sword lunge or with 3 sword strikes, they will die. So that's why I say pistol cutlass is the best beginner weapon loadout that you should all learn. So if you're a beginner at this game, go learn pistol cutlass, and it will teach you so much about the game. Now, moving on from pistol cutlass, the first thing that I want to talk about is I'm a very avid fan of the swords. Yeah, I love to use swords, right? And swords, I think, are probably one of the best weapons for beginners to learn, because there is so much complexity to swords that people don't realize, and they can also help you just get like guaranteed easy kills. So for example, right, there is a movement tech, we call it, which is the sword dash. So sword dashing is where if you hold left click with the sword, you do this thing called a sword dash, right? However, if you don't hit anything, you'll get this 3-second idle animation where you miss and your character's breathing heavy, which is really bad if you've boarded someone. You never want to do that, right? That will literally get you killed. Now, what happens is, though, if you guard, right? Notice when you're guarding, by holding right click on your sword, you can move around while guarded, all right? This is so OP, because if you charge up a sword lunge, as you can see, I could move around full speed while charging up a sword lunge. Now this makes it perfect for, like, let's say I wanted to hit this pole. See that? I could move into a way, or like let's say I was behind cover here and I know the person's there, boom, and then I would hit them, but obviously they were too far, but like I could hit them. And now you might have noticed I was adding a jump to it. So when you guard, you can also jump to send yourself twice as fast. So for example, here, if I did the charge up sword lunge, I would get nowhere, right? But if I do this and then I jump right after sword lunge, you see I could go further than that. The distance is insane. And this is why cutlass is one of the best weapons for all beginners to learn, because it has this movement tech. It is really easy to learn, like to intuit, and on top of that, it is arguably the best weapon for PvP when it's like talking about the beginner to intermediate level. So that is one technique that everyone, no matter where you are, you need to know in this game, because sword dashing, it not only is it used for, oh, there's a fort, not only is it just used for fighting, you can use it in water. As you can see, it carries your momentum in water, and you can use it to get to your ship quicker. Oh, there's a ladder. And even on top of that, if you sword dash into water and do the momentum trick, right, you can press shift after to carry your momentum even further. Right? You see how far I am from my ship? This makes boarding a piece of cake. If you learn this, it will make getting to the enemy ship so easy. Genuinely, it's something that every beginner should learn. Now we're gonna get into my secret sauce, my secret techniques that I only really teach the people that I play the game with. But one is guard breaking and the other is sword lunging. Two underrated techniques that I think everybody should use more often, because they are so broken in PvP and I don't know why people don't use them. Right? So we'll go over sword lunging first. So if you guard and you hold a direction and you press spacebar or jump button if you're on console, you will do a sword lunge, right? And this is insanely OP because it is such a quick dashing jump that nobody expects it. And you can do it in all directions. As you can see, I'm doing it in every direction. There's forward, there's backwards, left, right. You can go even in these directions. And it is insanely broken. Now, the reason why sword lunging is underrated is because, especially on bigger boats, you can do this thing which I called sword lunge chaining, right? And basically, the way that goes is if you sword lunge, there's a little time in between where you can do your next sword lunge, right? And so you're just stuck walking slow, right? But if you sword lunge into a jump to carry that momentum, that, as you can see, that jump is the perfect amount of time before you can reset into a sword lunge. And this movement right here, believe it or not, is so key to some of my PvP fights, because you can move everywhere. As you can see, I'm moving left and right, I'm lunging. Maybe I want to go this way, maybe I want to jump back, or maybe, you see, the movement is absolutely insane. Like I can sprint at someone, for example, let's say there's someone there, jump forward, fake that I'm gonna attack, go back, switch to the pistol or sniper or whatever I got, quick scope. You see, yo, what up? Hamo from the future here, editing Hamo here. I realized I didn't even teach you guys how to actually do the sword lunge chaining technique, so I'm going to teach you guys real quick. So what it is you start by doing a sword lunge, right? So holding your guard, W space or forward jump on console, right? Right after that, you want to keep holding W or forward, and then you want to jump, and then mid-air, when you're jumping, you have to let go of your guard, right? On guard, hold forward, jump. Then mid-air, while you're like at the peak of your jump, re-guard, so you land on the ground in your guard. And that's basically what you're doing. So you're guarding, jump forward, on-guard, guard, on-guard, guard, on-guard, guard. That's literally how it is. If you don't do this, if you hit the ground again, you see, you'll get, first of all, you won't be able to jump. But sometimes you get this weird bug where if you do it too early, you see, I still have the cooldown, right? So when you hit the apex of your jump, you wanna make sure you guard and come down. All right, because once again, I'll show you, if I do it too early, see, you might be able to hear me spamming space, but I get the cooldown still. But you can't do it too late, so you can do it as late as possible. But you might, if you do it too late, you might get this weird bug where you try and jump, but then you'll get this bug where, like that, you can't really see it there, but what happens is the game tries to input the jump, but instead you just like freeze frame. So once again, I'm gonna go over it real quick. You want to guard, jump forward, then holding W, holding your momentum or whichever direction you're going in. You want to jump at the tip top of your jump, the apex of your jump. That's when you want to guard, and then you want to come down and press space the second you land. Takes a little while to get used to that timing, but once you get that down, like you see, I just messed it up there, but once you get this timing down and you can do it like every direction anyway, you'll be a force to be reckoned with. I couldn't click. Anyway, back to the video. It makes PvP so much more fun as well for me, but more important, makes you so much more unpredictable in your movement and in your decision making. Like, nobody will expect this. Like, they don't know when I'm gonna come in. Imagine there's a person standing right here, right? right? So for example, I could come in and then I could be like, nope, I'm gonna back out, and then I'm gonna dodge this way. Maybe they're aiming at me, right? I can do this, I can do this, I can be looking like left and right. Normally I just keep my sights focused on them, but if you're like a noob and learning this technique, you might only be able to use W to like look around where you want to sword lunge. But once you get it down, you can move around looking at them. They don't know what I'm gonna do, and then I sword lunge in, bang. You see that? This is a technique I believe you should learn when you're at the intermediate stage. Don't learn this if you don't know what you're doing in PvP, but just keep this in the back of your mind. It is such an OP technique that I don't know why I don't see people utilizing it way more. It's so good for PvP, and it's definitely something you should learn. And it's also just fun to do. Like you might see me in my Twitch chat. Like I stream this game on Twitch. That's why I've come back into it. Catch me live on Twitch at twitch.tv/HamerBaby. But you might see me just doing this when I'm like walking around, you know, because it's just so much fun. I just like it just keeps you, you know, on your toes. You know, it's good to practice the different directions. Like let's say I'm heading towards my ship, I'll do one sword lunge forward, do one to the left, one to the right, maybe one backwards, you know, just practice each direction. Or maybe I'm just gonna practice, you know, my strafing. So like I'm moving forward, straight right, move forward, straight left, move forward, straight right, jump forward, straight left. You know, it makes like the strafing like that much fun. Insane, right? Something not many people do, but I believe you should learn. And why am I saying you should learn this? Maybe in the current meta of fighting, which is double gunning, this isn't really helpful, but this is helpful for those beginner to intermediate players who are just sailing the seas and getting, you know, destroyed by every pirate legend crew they come across. And if you're a sword lord like me, personally, I think cutlass is probably the best weapon in the game. If you're a sword lord like me and you love sword, then definitely this is something you need to learn. Now, moving on to something that a lot of people are probably anticipating: guard breaking. Now, I'm using air quotations, guard breaking, because there is no guard breaking in this game. However, not many people know this, but you can actually attack through a guard. And now the way that is done is by, if someone's guarding and you go up to attack them, right? What tends to happen is you will do 3 hits and then you guys will get launched back. If you attack their guard, you do no damage, the person will block all the guards, and then after the 3 hits, you guys both will get launched back a little, right? And this is what will happen if you attack the person that's guarding. However, if you want to get 1 free hit through the guard, which is why I call it guard breaking, because after this it lets you chain the attack. You can't guard like pistol shots or sniper shots or anything, right? So what happens is, when someone's guarding, you want to hit them with the first attack, and the first attack will send you into the 3-hit combo of Cutlass. Everybody knows Cutlass has 3 hits, right? After you hit something like a skeleton, be it a skeleton or a player, you will get a 3-hit combo on Cutlass, right? So you hit the first one, and then hit the first one on the guard, and then right after you hit the first attack, you want to jump, look down, and then hit the second attack. And this, believe it or not, hits through the guard. And a lot of people don't know this, but it's kind of my secret technique, and once again, I keep it secret for a reason. It's actually really OP. It helps me out a lot. It attacks through the guard, and a lot of people don't expect it. So you hit one, jump, hit the second attack through the guard, and then for the third attack, if you can time it, which it's pretty tough because, you know, you attack pretty fast, you can try and attack through the guard again. But most times I just hit them straight at their guard, because what will happen is it will hit them with the launch back, right? We both get separated, and if you're like me and run sniper does 70 damage, which is a lot of damage. And so if you hit them with the sniper, bang, that takes them down to 1 HP, which if they're at 1 HP, I can just sword lunge in, get 1 more attack, right? Something to keep in mind. Once again, the sword lunging is very, very important, because it can help you be so unpredictable. They don't know where you're going, what you're doing. But usually whenever you're on someone's ship, you just want to be sprinting, because this is the fastest movement there is in the game. But you want to do this only if there's someone like aiming at you with a gun or something, right? It's so much easier to strafe out the way of their attack with this. Trust me, it's very helpful. Sword lunging and guard breaking, 2 things everyone should master. Now, that's about it for the swords. Now, there's one thing that I'm going to talk about, and that is the weapon composition for PvP. And now this is for the noobs that are in the game. When picking your loadout, honestly, you can pick anything, guys. I'm not saying this is the end all be all, like cutlass pistol, like I was saying. I run cutlass sniper, right? So it's not end all be all. Pick, I always say, just pick whatever feels good to you. If you like the way the pistol feels, use the pistol. If you like the way the blunderbuss feels, use the blunderbuss. If you like the way the double barrel pistol feels, use that. Any weapon can be good in the right player's hands. With the right amount of experience, the right player can make any weapon in this game absolutely deadly. Like, I'm currently working towards making my throwing knife game better, but you know, I kind of suck at it right now because my aim is not the best with the throwing knife. I'm still trying to practice my aim, and more importantly, it's kind of like a much more complex weapon, and I've barely used it, so I have to learn a lot more on the throwing knives. Oh, someone did the fort over there and it teleported over here. You know what? I might go do that. Might go do that on stream. Come check me out. Twitch.tv/HeyMyBaby, but the O is a 0. Alright, I'm done plugging the Twitch. I won't do it anymore. I'm sorry. Once again, not end all be all. Pick whatever weapon suits you. Whichever one you're having fun with is probably the biggest priority. Like, for example, I have a friend. I told him cutlass pistol. Use that for the start of the game. And he's using that. He's liking it. But then my girlfriend, who I recently got into the game, she likes cutlass and sniper, which is what I'm currently running with. And so she uses cutlass sniper. However, I'm just going to say this now, like, objectively, the best PvP loadout is always been blunderbuss. Well, not always been, but it's basically is always the blunderbuss and blunderbuss and sniper, because first of all, a blunderbuss into sniper is one shot, like two shot. I mean, so if you do this and then you quick scope him, it's that will kill them. It's guaranteed to kill, right? But more importantly, the blunderbuss has knockback on it, which is really OP, especially if you are helmsman. Like, I usually am the helmsman on the cruise. So if you're a helmsman and you have to watch the ladder, especially on sloops, right? Blunderbuss is so OP for that. And then once you knock them off the ladder, you know, you can obviously just like snipe them. And if you want to be even like crazier, you can try and snipe them first. If they're stupid enough to climb back up, right? If they're stupid enough to climb up the ladder after getting sniped, then you can blunderbuss them. For example, the easiest place to snipe them is here, because you have like the full look of the ladder. Snipe them here. Then if they're stupid enough to climb up, switch to your blunderbuss, and then you can just jump right here and then shoot them. So this video was more tailored towards those beginner intermediate players that, you know, don't know what weapon to use. You know, they're constantly getting clapped up in PvP, and you basically want to, you know, try to stay alive. You want to learn a little bit of techniques that I believe everyone should learn. These are really good for PvP, but they also work in PvE. Remember, guard breaking works on skeletons too. Use it on skeletons. It's so OP. Trust. It's like goated. Just use it. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you want to see in the comments. Once again, I have like so much knowledge of this game. I've played it for so long. And I've been streaming it on Twitch, like I've said already 2 times in this video. Come by the Twitch. Let me know what you want to see. And more importantly, if you guys like the video, drop a like, drop a sub. It would be greatly appreciated to me. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Oh, one more thing. Next video, I might do a boarding tutorial video for all you noobs and intermediate players. What to do when you've boarded and what to go for and all that stuff. But anyway, boys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Ladies, boys.